All right, then, let's get to it.
Sounds like a plan.
We're being attacked!
This
I'm ready.
will be a masterpiece. Chop, chop, man. Let's get to work.
We're being attacked!
For the Queen!
Control. Need control. All right, here goes nothing.
Expansion is the key to victory.
The outpost has been built. We've expanded our borders.
So much to do, so little time. Chop, chop, man. Let's get to work.
Building completed. We lost the sector, Commander.
Expansion is the key to victory.
The outpost has been built. We've expanded our borders.
Ready to fire.
I am ready. Corporal?
Yes.
I'll be swift. Fair enough. Let's do this.
Yeah.
All right, here goes nothing.
Building completed.
An abomination. Kill it.
Building completed. Building completed.
So much. I need help over here. Careful.
Will do.
We're being attacked!
It's over already. It's over already.
You'll regret this.
For Northander! Chance, you?
Just give the word.
Good thinking. We could use another outpost.
The outpost has been built. We've expanded our borders.
What do you want?
So much to do, so little time.
Now would you look at that?
There you are. Well then, let's get this over with, shall we? What did you mean by you need our help? I appreciate what you did for us. You too, Angar. But you know that falcons cannot leave the canyon. The tomb needs to be protected, from now until eternity.
They will guard the tomb, but not all of you. We will provide you with enough soldiers to both rebuild your fortress and to protect the tomb while you are with us. And once the Harbinger is dead, you can return to the canyon. Please, Aranor, don't make this harder than it is. You know I have the power to command you if needed, but I don't want to do this.
Fine. I suppose you're right. If the Harbinger is mad enough to attack Aenir's blade, we would not be safe here anyway. We will lend you our maces, Tahar, as long as you serve a righteous cause. What about Myra? House Uhtren's army is among the largest in Northander. Will she help too?
That's a long story. I'll tell you on the way to Mullendir.
Fine. But these soldiers you're sending as a temporary replacement, I will be the one who picks them. Is that clear?
Yes.
Good. Then I will join you with 24 of my keepers. That has to be enough. When do we head out?
Soon. Tahar will give the command.
Right.
Yes? Are we heading out?
Not yet. I'll give the word.
That way?
By the Guardians. That was quite the journey, wasn't it? Wonderful place you found yourself here, Corporal. Wonderful.
Glad you like it. Did you have a look at the city's defense mechanisms yet? They might interest you.
Yes, actually I have. They are part of why I find this city so intriguing. I mean, I always knew the Shapers had some interesting weaponry, but this, it's amazing. I still don't understand why the Crown never showed much interest in these ruins in the first place. Anyway, I don't want to steal more of your precious time. As promised, I'll help you improve your siege machinery, catapults, ballistas, and the like. Though of course that'll cost you a little. Not for me, but for the material.
All right. I'll come by when I need something.
Hey, you're an adventurer, aren't you? Come take a look. I'm sure I've got something that might spark your interest. Farewell.
Interesting.
Yes? What is it?
Are you all right? You seem distraught.
I am. The mentalists have told me what happened in Aenir's Blade. The fact that you met Lena, I do not know what to make of it. I wish I had been there. Tell me, did she say anything about me? Did you even tell her that you're traveling with me?
I didn't get the chance.
I feared as much. Well, I will talk to her followers. I did already see some familiar faces in the ones you brought here. If you don't mind, I would like some time to think now. If you wish, we can talk later.
All right.
Tandai Tahar. Come to trade?
As you want.
Let me see what you haven't...
Certainly. Wares from Kalea to Northander. You know how to bargain, don't you?
Corporal Tahar. Still feels strange to say that name out loud.
Because my father?
What do you think? Anyway, you've proven by now that you're not like him. I didn't think I'd ever say that, but I'm glad our paths crossed. So, what do you need?
Can you tell me more about the Iron Falcons?
Depends.
Why did you choose to become a Falcon?
Choose? You certainly don't know anything about royalty, Tahar. There was never much choice, especially not for me and my brother. To be honest, I always dreamed of becoming the Lady Marshal at the Queen's side, but that role was reserved for Angar. Thus, my parents sent me to the Falcons. Because of my talent and my blood, it had always been clear that one day I'd lead them, if I didn't fall in battle before that could happen. And I didn't. So now, the Arendirs lead the two most powerful forces in Northander, just as our parents planned.
Makes sense. What's it like to be an Iron Falcon?
Harsh.
Meaning?
No family, no pleasures. Just the vigil and hard training under the desert sun, day after day. It's necessary because any distraction could make us drop our guard, which would mean the end of the world as we know it.
You have my respect.
Thank you.
Let's discuss something else.
How are you settling in?
Good. I'm worried about the tomb, of course, but I can see that my brother is right. The Purity is as big a threat as the File Darg. Let us just pray that your soldiers know what they're doing.
What's your relationship with Angar?
I don't see how that's relevant. Sorry. If anything, I'm more worried about Myra. Seeing her like that, it's disquieting, to say the least. You want to know something funny? As a child, I always scolded her for her naivety. I told her she had to toughen up and that a woman of royal blood shouldn't behave like the miller's daughter, playing witch and drawing pretty pictures. Of course, she never listened. And now, all of a sudden, that naivety, that optimism, that blind faith in the world is gone. And I miss it. When this is over, we'll find a cure. We need to.
I'll be off.
Huh? Back in Bar Gagor, you told me that you think the Orc should strive to be more. What do you mean by that?
Do you consider your culture to be, well, inferior?
Inferior? No, not at all. On the contrary, I'm glad to be a fire wielder, and not a human or an elf.
Why?
Because not so unlike the Shapers, your culture is bigoted, strange. You like to tell yourselves you're more than the animals you slaughter for food. You call yourselves civilized. But in the end, you look for the struggle just as anything and anyone else does. But of course you don't admit to it. You want to be better than that. And the result are lies, intrigue, wars, and assassinations. Your culture is so bizarre that it's almost amusing.
Well, you have a point.
I know. So no, I don't consider our culture to be inferior. But we've gone astray. Fools such as Krew was one. They're the reason your race looks down on us. If Zakrak had wanted us to be ever-fighting, ravaging brutes, he wouldn't have given us minds to begin with. Every brawl, every battle, every war has to have a purpose. It isn't something done for pleasure. Yes, it can be enjoyed. But at its core, it is ritual. The most basic one of nature.
In other words, violence and war are good and necessary, but only within measure?
Yes, and it should be learned from. That's where most orcs disagree. They claim to value wisdom, but when asked to choose between words and a club, They always choose the club. And as you see, this is why our culture has stagnated. In its current state, there will never be an orc empire, a great tribe, or the earth-shaking horde Zarek envisioned.
So what you want is to lead your people to a better future?
You make it sound so dramatic. For now, the Fire Wielders are a good start. And by helping you, they will hopefully see that diplomacy and strength don't always contradict each other. After that, we shall see.
Don't you think a world without violence is possible?
No.
Why? Isn't that what we should all aspire to?
We should aspire to a lot of things. But tell me, Tahar, this world has existed for millennia. And has there ever been peace? Lasting peace?
No.
Exactly. And you don't think there's a reason for this? As I said, our very existence is based on conflict. Finding food, not freezing to death. Living means to struggle. Your people, with your warm clothes and banquets, try all in your power to forget that fact. But you can't, because ultimately, there's as much thirst for struggle in you as in an orc. What we orcs believe is that we should embrace it. That we should just face the truth, even if it's ugly. That the ways of nature can't be changed by its creation. It's like fighting the tides.
So what? Do we just kill each other whenever we feel like it?
No. What we need is a way to channel our urges. Ceremonial battles, arenas, a society that is centered around survival and strength, and gains rather than loses stability from it. Because if we simply suppress these urges, such as humans, the elves, and the dwarves do, they will at one point only erupt even more violently.
I get your point, but I'm sure there must be another way.
There isn't. Anyway, where were we?
Did you always have these ambitions?
No.
Then where did they come from?
None of your business, Tahar. Sorry.
All right. Well, thanks for explaining.
Sure.
What's it like to change form? I've been wondering about that since I met you.
I can imagine. It's exhilarating and strange at the same time. If it taught me one thing, then it's how foolish it is to put the mind above every other aspect of the body. Many people do that, especially scholars or mages.
What do you mean?
Because the shape of our flesh is so much more than just a shell. It defines us. When I take on the form of a wolf, for example, this wolf isn't just me with fangs and paws. It's a different version of myself.
A different version?
Yes. You can understand if you haven't been there. But I guess you could say that when I'm taking on a creature's form, a part of my mind gets infused with that creature's essence. The thirst for the hunt. Thinking as part of a pack, just to name the most obvious aspects. They meld with my mind. When I was young and first started shifting, the creature always dominated. It was like a feverish dream, and I had almost no control over my actions. With time, it got better.
Did you ever completely lose control when you were in another form?
In the beginning, yes. But the Elder always made sure I was in a controlled environment when I did my first transformations.
How do you learn a new form?
That's complicated. First you have to understand that creature, observe it, live with it if possible. That can take months, years, sometimes decades. Then there's what we shamans call the first joining. You have to visualize your shift.
How does that work?
I can't explain it. It's like your first bloodshed. It can't be explained, only experienced.
So in theory, could you transform into anything? Even, say, a wyvern, a dragon?
In theory, yes. In practice, there's no known shapeshifter who has ever done that. Save for old orcish legends, maybe.
Why not?
First off, there aren't many dragons around to study. And even if there were, you aren't likely to survive it. Secondly, transforming into something that enormous, it can be lethal. Our minds, our essence just isn't fit to govern such a massive body. Only some years ago, there was talk of an Ash Reaver shifter who had attempted to morph into a troll. He succeeded, but his heart, the troll's heart, stopped before he could take a single step. So you see why most shifters aren't that eager to experiment.
Huh, well, that's definitely interesting. Thanks for taking the time to explain.
Sure.
I'll be off. Let's see.
Yes? Looking for some orcish craftsmanship?
Now would you look at that?
Zauraka, what do you need?
I want to...
All right. Here's what we can do.
Yes?
Armors and shields, everything from copper daggers to black ashen swords.
What's that?
What can I do for you today?
Let me see...
I had hoped as much. What do you need?
I'm sure I have just what you need. Come again. May Tiara bless your path.